take a little time to get there, but you're there.
Yeah. Give people a few moments to tune on in. This is going to be a shorty anyway.
Yeah, give them enough time. Let's see. As you can see.
Good afternoon. No, good morning.
It's afternoon.
Not in my world. Not in my world, bro. It's always morning until it's bedtime. Then it's bedtime. So, how's everyone doing today? I needed, why, yes, I had a cocktail after the morning bump. A lot of fun this morning. Go back and check it out. It's 12 p.m., but it's still morning. It could be midnight 30 and still be morning. It's morning anytime. But yeah, after this, go ahead and go back, check out the morning bump if you missed it. Wintus and I might have caused a little bit of chaos. Mickey had better things to do, so he left it in my uncapable hands, and somehow I didn't foul it up.
So how everybody's day going? I look.
Yeah, I'm looking at 7, 8, and I'm like, do I want to be like Wintus and not start till we get 50? No one cares enough to watch me.
What's up, Jolena? Thanks for tapping in.
Right? Nah, look. We got 10 folks. That's plenty for me to start. I don't care if I only got 2 people. I'm going to have to talk about it. I've been trying to avoid it. Mainly because my co-host is on the school board as president of the school board. He's not here today, unfortunately. He's got an issue. Well, not an issue. He's just got a personal matter to take care of. And number 2, I like to keep my mind and my focus, especially on solutions, onto things we can fix, right? But it's grown so out of control. Everyone's freaking out about no cell phones in the schools no more. And the hoodies is a completely different matter. We can touch on that. But the cell phones is the biggest thing, guys. Our schools are failing by every metric. And we can't just blame it on the water. I know everyone wants to. The problem is, it isn't just the water. I mean, our entire generation had children before we were ready. Well, let's just be honest here. We had babies raising babies. And these children have grown up with, well, basically their parents still learning how to navigate the adult world as young adults, learning what bills are, learning what taxes are, learning how to hold a job, try to go to school. And it caused chaos in their young lives. And the parents themselves, overwhelmed a lot. There was no real discipline. I'm not talking discipline like busting your kid's ass or go time out. I'm talking a regimented, disciplined lifestyle. The same thing that we all mostly grew up with. Wake up every day at the same time, have breakfast, be dressed, be showered, or showered, dressed, out the door at the same time, at school at the same time. Right? Go to school, come home, mom, dad, grandma, uncle, whoever grabs you by the scruff of the shirt, sits you down at a table or in the front room, turns off the TV, and says, "Do your homework, then you can go out and play." We don't have a lot of that today. Our kids' attention span and focus is so short because many times we as parents have failed. And that's carrying over into the classroom. Why are we giving the kids an opportunity to distract themselves? You tell the kid, don't have your phone out, right? They're still going to do it. You try to take the phone away, it causes a massive incident. Then there's fighting, there's arguing, there's more disruption in the classroom. Then the parents get involved, it causes way too much. So just say it doesn't come into school at all. And I've heard several arguments, one of them being with the uncertain nature with violence in schools, particularly of the mass shooting variety. The problem is, what are you going to do? You can go ask the parents in Uvalde what happened when they showed up when their kids were being attacked. They tried to go inside, the cops stopped them and tased them. Or you're going to try to message your child while they're inside during this event. Their phone's going to buzz or go off, and now you've just caused them to give themselves away if they were hiding. I cannot see any actual good argument for a child having a cell phone in the classroom. Hell, aside from just the typical distraction, it causes even more problems. Kids doing things for likes and views on TikTokies, say harassing another student, bullying another student, fighting another student while filming it. The phones in the schools are just part of the problem. It is a symptom of the problem. And the sad thing is, our school board is trying to step up and fix some of the deficiencies that these kids are seeing at home. And everyone's up in arms about it. Look, we got enough to be angry about here. We don't need to go pick an extra thing. The hoodies, I'm on the fence about. Why? Because the schools are cold as hell. My kids went to DTM. I walked in there one time to pick up my youngest when she was sick, and I caught a cold. Right? That's just the deal. I would like to see kids more with jackets. I mean, hell, especially with hoodies today. Back when we were growing up, hoodies were the cheap option, right? You know, that's what the kids whose families couldn't really afford a good winter jacket would give their kids. It's still warm, just not as warm. Now, things are backwards. Hoodies are costing 50, 60, 70 bucks a pop, especially of the higher fashion ones that all the kids want. Whereas you go to Burlington, you can pick your kid up a good, decent winter jacket for 30, 40 bucks. But there's pros and cons to that as well. It just really irks me that here in Flint, everything has to be a fight. We can't just take good enough as is. We have to nitpick at it. I mean, there's plenty to nitpick at, guys. As Winston and I just went on for 2 hours about ethics and accountability, there are no ethics and no one's being held accountable. It's the bribe and skate. It's the payoff and skateboard. Okay? You've got city council, where it's just 5 rubber stamps and a whole bunch of, well, if they didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have standards at all. We've got a stealing, lying, thieving mayor. We've got a county commissioners board who oftentimes show their asses and are way too favoritistic toward one group or another instead of what a person is actually worth in terms of education and experience that they bring. We've got a whole mess of problems here, and we're choosing cell phones in the classroom as a hill to die on. I can't agree with it. My oldest was assaulted in the same school that they're holding the school board meeting in, back when it was Scott. And it was on the internet later that day, her getting her head bashed in with a book bag full of books. Was it done for likes or views, or did someone just whip out their phone? I don't know. How many other parents are going through that? Yeah, it's a useful tool for recording things when they happen. But at the same time, how many things are happening just because the recording is there? We've got better things to argue about. I'm not going to say I'm going to stand up there and at the school board meeting tonight and espouse the virtues of the school board. Lord knows, a year ago, I was denouncing most of them as evil. I still feel the same way about several of them. Let's not get me twisted here. I still think that there's a lot of crooked before the current board, and I feel after positions are reassigned, there's going to be more crooked again. And I'll be here for that. I'm going to be looking at their financial reports again. I'm going to be looking at everything I can. I can say that the way the world is going today, technology is progressing faster and faster and faster. But what happens when that technology goes down? How lost are we, even just on a simple road trip, without our phone and GPS to tell us where to go? When it used to be, you could ask your dad or your mom how to get 3 states over, and they'd give you a turn by turn, directions. How do you take care of your checking account without your phone and say Chase app or Bank of America, what have you? Most of us don't know how to balance a damn checkbook. It's not taught in schools. Does that need to be in our schools? Yes. We've become so dependent on technology. Most of our kids can't do simple multiplication without a calculator now. We need to teach our kids to be self-sufficient and need to teach them how to discipline themselves. And once again, I'm not talking about corporal punishment. I'm talking about putting themselves into a routine and routinely following through. The discipline to wake up on time as an adult, as a teenager, the discipline to eat right, the discipline to exercise, the discipline to show good decision making and rational thought when put into a hard, put into a corner, put into a hard situation. Fast Eddie, yeah, you and a few people could use maps, but if you put a map in front of most folks today, they're going to sit there and go, well, where am I? What was that town I just passed, my boss? And I can tell you, my dad knew his way from La Habra, California to La Mesa, Texas, and back without a map. Look into lock boxes for phones. That's terrific. But then once the school assumes even temporary possession or custodianship of the phone, if something were to somehow happen to it, say those lockers tip over or whatever, every parent is going to be screaming, replace my kid's $750, $2,000 phone. Do that at my house. Oh, I want you to watch my phone while I come in. That's way too much for me to afford. Kojak Vaughn has a point. Hey, Mickey, which way's north?
Gotta be that way. No, that way.
North. There you go. North is that way.
Yeah. Oh, look, man, I'm not coming here to get drilled like this.
No, that isn't a shot towards you. Don't take it like that, right?
I know, I'm talking.
But Kojak here brought it up. Most people can't tell the difference by north, south, east, or west just off the top of their head, just off of knowing what's where. Yeah. Try navigating without GPS. How do I know?
Nah, if you don't teach a kid, you got to teach them. But I'm really tripping off. The reason I've been so quiet, man, I'm going through these comments from the Ethics and Accountability Board.
Oh, they were a trip. And shouldn't we all be up in arms about that? About the lies told blatant?
Who said they could smell chicken, though? I want to know, Stephanie. I need you to report to answer this question because I saw something in here where you said somebody could smell chicken. Matter of fact, just text me it, and that'll be better. That'll just be better. Now I'm looking at the comments. Y'all was cutting up last night at the Ethics and Accountability Board in the comments. Mm-hmm. Not to cut you off, I'm over here like I don't know if I need to be ashamed or I'm like, proud. Wow.
I'm proud.
I'm not.
Here's why I'm proud.
I'm not happy now.
You're not happy that I'm proud?
Go ahead, because I know it's...
No, I'm proud of the folks all over the country, especially those that live in the city of Flint.
Yeah.
For standing up for themselves and letting themselves be heard, even if it's just in jokes and in jest and in the way that they are saying some things. And yes, it could be construed as hurtful. They are letting themselves be known that I do not like how things are being run.
I'm just trying to figure out who... I'm just trying to figure out when they said somebody was to smell chicken. I want to know. Really, you know what?
Dude, it was the petting
I don't even want to know. You know why? We're gonna skip past that. You know, Stephanie, don't worry about that. We're gonna go past that.
Okay.
Oh my good. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just went up to another comment. I don't even want to talk. Some of these comments is unbelievable. Let me read this to you. I'm not trying to take the whistle there. My God, I did not. I ain't been doing my job. Just listen, who is Salmon Shirt? Do I really want to know who Salmon Shirt is?
Yeah.
No, I don't. No, I
That
don't.
was,
No, I don't want to know, Trevor.
Salmon's a color. It
Yeah,
was pink.
no, I don't want to know. You know what?
Okay.
I see it. I just ran into these comments and like, wow. Well, yeah, Trevor, this back to you. You go ahead and this for you from Jolie. You go ahead. I'm just looking at my bad. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the show.
So we've got two comments here. At the New Standard School on Carpenter Road, they have students put their phones into a box that the teacher keeps on a desktop and readily accessible if an emergency arises. What emergency would necessitate 30 students in just one classroom all calling someone? You can, all right, guys, I'll be honest with you. When I was a soldier, it was my job to make chaos and control chaos. Someone going in there to do something, or even a fire. Every parent in that school or of a child in that school rushing to the school is more chaos than the firefighters or police can handle. It has just made the entire situation far more dangerous. Now you've got kids running through where they're not controlled by their teachers anymore because they see mom and dad in a scary situation. They're going to go to mom and dad. Now you've lost accountability of the child. How do you know who's safe and who's not? And that's just on the nicer end of things. If you go into the plague that's been going across the country the past, since Columbine, now you've got kids with phones ringing while they're hiding. Now you got kids whose parents are saying, come outside, I'm here. They step outside and tragedy strikes. Now you've got parents pushing against police when police are just trying to get inside to get the kids. If they're not cowards like at Uvalde, of course. So I cannot think of a reason why a student needs a cell phone. And not to mention the teachers, the principal, the staff, even the damn janitor has a phone on them, plus the desk phones, plus the office phones. And while one is calling the police, another one is calling the district and putting out an emergency notification through the district to notify the parents. Robocaller. That way, phone lines and circuit or boards aren't tied up. Have you ever tried calling 911 when a couple hundred people were trying to call? You don't get through. You don't. You tie up the phone lines with that many calls at once, someone's getting forgotten. And it causes far more confusion on first responders than needs to happen. That is the main concern I hear people talking about. What if an emergency happens? Problem is, that's a moot point.
Yeah.
I get your concern. I am a parent myself. But I'd rather things be taken care of in a controlled manner. Because if you're not managing the chaos is managing you. And that usually ends up in a very long, very short day. I would think the school board and staff have the responsibility to weigh their reactions to serious situations and in their official responses to deal with the situation. For example, parents and staff were scared of weapons being brought into school and shooting up the place due to seeing real school shootings being aired on TV and social media.
Which one are you trying to read?
The large one at the top.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Thank you. All right, being aired on TV and social media. The school felt pressured to get clear backpacks and also no backpacks at all by staff and parents. And the school responded the way they did. They have, you're going to have to get it unblued, dude. There we go. And the school responded the way they have. I guess it's going to continue on. Let's see what else. Scroll down for me. Nope. We shall wait for the We shall wait for the continuation of the book, though I do appreciate the input. Education is good, or education is good, experience is good. Let's see what John has to say. Uh, Good, but true wisdom is best, and that comes from God, and God is love. I'm just saying, that's what I was taught. Okay. But without the ability to manage the crisis, there's a problem. And we're all, I mean, I know Liddell and Eva are clicking their heels and jumping for joy that everyone's attention suddenly shifted away from them, like the Eye of Sauron. The hobbits were able to move now. Well, one of those is both of them are really, really large hobbits.
Mm-mm.
Oh, calm down, my man.
No, I'm just over here. I didn't do this.
You had a 2-hour break from today's chaos, and then we caused more chaos.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Honestly, I do really get what you're saying. I'm just like, I get it because these comments over here, I'm gonna wait to the end when you get done before we can discuss this. I cannot believe these comments I'm seeing from the Ethics and Accountability Board. Oh my God! But just finish. I'm just like,
the deal with the hoodies. We've heard several stories. One of them was people throwing up their hood, going picking fights at random bus stops, and then disappearing. They don't know who was who. Okay. Another one was with a security concern in and of itself. There is no assigned seating at many of these middle schools and up. So anyone goes in there, sits at a random seat, throws their hood up. How do you know who's that? Is it someone that's supposed to be in your class?
I can understand it.
A student leaning back, throwing the hood like this. How do you know that they're paying attention to you? How do you know that they're not asleep? There's a lot of reasons for it. Just like jackets with hoods. Those hoods got to be down. Go get your kid a sweater. I mean, no, I can't say it like that because money is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But consider buying them something different in the future. And yes, the schools are cold. That is a problem that has been there for a while. I've bitched about it a lot. And then in the summer, the schools are hot and the kids are passing out. But there has to be something better than a hoodie. And the schools do have to get their asses together and start fixing the climate control inside those buildings. There's no excuse for that. No one wants to send their kid to 8 hours away from you to go supposedly get an education, but the entire time they're catching hypothermia. Right?
Yep, I got a point there.
Like, I understand this. I'm just saying that there are better fights to pick at this time. And first and foremost, if we're going to be going with a fight for our kids, we really have to be supporting many of the schools and especially the teachers because they're the ones that we charge with educating our kids. And our kids, our test scores have been in the lower 10% of the state, and the state's like 32nd in the union out of 50. We're talking Mississippi level scores here. We have to start buckling down ourselves so we can buckle down on our children way and get them to take their education. Where are they going to go? What are they going to do? This is Flint. This is not a forgiving city. If you don't have a skill or if you don't have a way to get yourself up, you're not going to make it. And the way the taxes are going, the way that they're raising our property taxes, our sales taxes, they're probably looking at income taxes soon, and our water bills, our trash collection just went up. How are you going to make it?
I get it. I mean, I get what you're saying.
And on the back end of all that, rent goes up.
Yeah.
And the rent that they're saying is affordable definitely isn't.
No, I mean
$1,600 a month.
Yeah, but they're using the medium from out in the township and not in the city.
They're using a Genesee County median for an entire Flint, which Flint 43% is above the poverty line or below the poverty line.
That's a hell of a lot.
Poverty line isn't even all that high. So you're catching people with less than $30K a year we have to do better by our kids, and the best guarantee they have is education. So
I get it. Like I said, it's a lot of problems that could have solutions for them.
yeah.
I see, new schools, but yeah, you're gonna have to get. It got to be like twofold. It got to be home first, and the teachers, because the teachers do got to be held accountable.
Yeah.
At the same time, they do need support, but you do got to still hold. Because if you just been letting things go run wild for the longest, this why I will give the board this. Because it was like, well, 4 of them that came on what is it, 4 or 5 that came on there that was new, 5 that came on there that was new. What they is things they are getting done. They done made some hiccups because ain't nothing ever just been 99% correct that they do. It's been, they done did some good things, they done did some bad things. Like I feel like they should have let the clear backpacks get through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I was big on the clear backpacks. My only issue was young ladies and feminine products.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to have anything that encloses, and let's face it, young boys are assholes.
And I get that, but maybe that's what I'm saying. For the girls, you could have had like a little brown, some where they can put that in.
Mm-hmm.
That could have had color where that wouldn't clear through. For the boys couldn't be like that. Like a little pouch where it could go in that could have went in the clear backpack.
Yeah.
What you was really looking for was making sure guns and drugs weren't coming in right. I mean, that was one they probably need to go back and revisit. I agree with that.
Possibly expanding the nurses area, the nurses office, budget, and providing period products for young ladies. Yeah.
Right.
Because period poverty is a thing. I mean,
I'm not saying it ain't. I'm just saying it's a lot of ways.
It's weird a conservative guy is saying that.
Yeah, because I didn't even want to bring it up. That's why I just said get a little. But see, the school.
It's a fact of life. No, you can't be squeamish about it.
No, it is. But I mean, I'd rather have a woman discussing it better than a man. But I'm just saying.
Fine. But we don't have a female here.
Yeah, that's why. That's what I'm saying. But they can still, like the school, you providing the backpacks, they can provide a little pouch for that to go with the clear backpack. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe a female security guard to look through it to make sure that a young lady's not sneaking anything else.
Yeah, that's all. It's just certain things. But like I said, you gotta give them. You gotta give a person time. You know what I'm saying? The board members just got on there. They young.
I mean, most of the board is a 5-year position, right? Except for 1 or 2 seats that are 2-year. Those 2-year seats are coming up, and I'm looking to see who's going to be running those races.
No, Jessica. You know what? I don't. It's cool. I get what you're saying. I was just saying the backpacks if they did, but shit, I don't know. Do kids even take books home?
I think a lot of the time, no. Now,
okay. See, so I don't remember.
A lot of the schools gave the kids MacBooks, and they're still continuing that practice, and a lot of their work is online.
Oh no, $1 bill. I'm giving them. This not getting down on them. This giving them a praise. That's what I'm saying. When you got the new board members on there, I said they did.
And I'm not getting down on Clack either.
Yeah, this
is a show that he's usually on.
Right.
It is Solutions hosted by Clack and Trevor. But I'm also not standing up for him either. I'm just giving my view on it at the moment.
Yeah.
My view is we need to stop disruptive behavior from starting all the way back at home.
Oh, I got what you're saying.
And not giving the tools.
Oh, no. Just, okay, I get you. Yeah, I know I was just out of action for 2 hours and hell broke loose. And then I'm looking back. I guess I stopped watching the Ethics and Accountability Board. And I'm looking in these questions. They funny as hell, but Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nah, because that's what I say. Because even, when man, you can't get nothing done in 24 hours. Not a year. It take, if you go really just look in general, just say with a president, you got to think when Obama got in, or you know what I'm saying, he had to get some stuff together that the president, the one before him, was doing, and you got. Each it's always got to do some cleaning up.
Reaganomics. Reaganomics didn't actually start to kick in. And I'm just talking about because when he first started using him, it put the country into a larger deficit until it started kicking in 2.5 years in.
Yeah.
Rome wasn't built in a day, and I'm not saying Reaganomics was good or bad, but it finally stopped going into heavy deficit 2.5 years in. The Ethics and Accountability Board needs ethics. No, at this point, Ethics and Accountability Board just needs to be dissolved because it doesn't do anything.
Well, you know, Winters, you may be right. Damn. Now, don't you start with me. Nah, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying that in general. That was just a general question, Miss Hall. I see, I was saying when you on there, but you gotta have my thing is, and this why I kind of hold the state, the elders on there, like how Eric be saying he the elder on council, and he
is
do
the
know,
senior councilman.
the senior council, and he do know the charter. That's
He
what
knows the charter and Robert's rules of
right.
order very well.
Yeah, so I hold I kind of hold the elders, the statesmen that's on the council who been there. I mean, on any board. If you've been there, even I ain't trying to throw Joe King up under the bus, but when you know certain things, you supposed to be able to guide the new people that's coming in, not into.
They made every excuse possible last night to not take any action. Like they said, they can't impose any action upon the council. All they can do is make a recommendation. So what happens with that recommendation, Mickey? Say they recommend Liddell Lewis suspend herself.
That ain't gonna never happen.
If they did, and the recommendation comes up there, Liddell Lewis needs to write it, or whoever needs to write a resolution suspending Liddell Lewis for, let's say, favoritism behavior. 5 votes are going to say you can shove your suggestion, your recommendation. Ethics and Accountability Board is a laughable joke. It is a MacGuffin. It is something to make you feel good and take your attention away. Oh, I have the Ethics and Accountability Board to go to when City Council is robbing me blind. When in reality, Ethics and Accountability Board is a paper tiger or a toothless shark.
Right.
It is of no use. It is no danger to anyone, and it can't do a goddamn thing.
But that's why I hold. Let me rephrase that because they be making a post about this. That's why I hold the ones who've been on there longer because the mechanics, as Eric say, the mechanics, how certain things, how buttons is moved, you know what I'm saying? How it's been ran because you've been here. I'll be looking at like, you know what I'm saying? You being the elder statesman or the elder woman, just being in general, you've been here long enough. So you know the ins and outs. I don't think I will be hoping, but that's just on the person that we're gonna do the right. Even when you're doing wrong, you can do some right. I'm just saying, like, but I guide you right into the BS. That's all I'm saying. Like, how you gonna get right in this? You come up here, you supposed to be. I use Candace as an example, her and May's situation. I mean, how she did Dennis. You get on the board. I mean, you get on council, right? Mm-hmm. And then you go to pick sides. You supposed to be neutral, meaning you might vote with this foe this time. You might vote with this foe this time. Not that you're going to vote 99.9% with the foe that you with. You should have been impartial. I'm not saying you're supposed to vote it all 99% time with, just say, Tanya and Jerry and Eric and Dennis them, but you should be, you was voted on, you should have been impartial, not you get right in the mud slang. Like, that's what I'm saying with the Ethics and Accountability Board.
Buddy. I'm just always going to vote what my best buddy does instead of coming to it with a clear mind. And
that's what I'm saying with the Ethics and Accountability Board last night with Joe King. I ain't giving him a break. But even though I'm reading these questions, this stuff, they would say the Ethics Accountability Board needs an Ethics Accountability Board. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. Like, and then you can see like Joe, even I seen when Winters, said that it wasn't supposed to be a closed session. But then it went to, because in my just humble opinion, Joe seen he lost control of that, and it went left.
So I think 90% of the time, Ethics and Accountability Board is ignored.
Right.
But we've started picking up some steam, and we've definitely started picking up some numbers. They saw Wentus there. They couldn't control the narrative anymore, which normally they don't care about because no one's watching.
Right.
Things can fly around in there, and it's not going to go nowhere.
Yes.
But last night, their not just inability to do anything, but their unwillingness to even do anything was shown to the country. They had to go closed door because they knew that this would be the talk of the town. You go into that other Facebook group right now, and they're all standing there trying to defend the lawlessness in there, defend the inaction. Hell, one person said, I feel like I'm just babysitting council. Hold up just a minute. What all groups are you over? The ombudsman, the administration, council. What else? What else are you supposed to be keeping ethically accountable?
Right.
Well, council is 9 individuals, and 5 of them are acting lawlessly. Of course, that's going to take up a lot of your time. And those 5 lawless individuals keep covering for the lawless individual in the mayor's office. You take care of one problem, you take care of the other.
Yeah.
So either you straighten out your mayor, and your mayor is no longer going to play a crooked, dirty game, or you straighten out your council, and they're going to straighten out your mayor. So no, they had to close it. And Jessica, I am going to agree with you to a point, because we saw a few really courageous individuals last night who were speaking up, speaking the truth, and telling it right, and then telling it to their faces.
I agree with Jessica on that, because they getting some opera money. All you do is follow the money.
Like I said, there's 1 or 2 or 3 folks there who were listening to the lies, calling them lies, and then calling them lies straight to what else space, to Doug's space, to even other ethics and accountability board member spaces, instead of just going along to get along. There were a few courageous individuals, but for the most part, you are damned right.
Yeah, and that was a good thing though, because it got showed. I ain't trying to lie, but I'm reading these comments, man. These comments is just so crazy. Like somebody said, work on the planet. I mean, we ain't gonna bring that up. That's
I know, Jessica. I just wanted to, I know exactly what you meant. I just wanted to put it out there that we recognize the good on there as well, right?
Somebody dentures was sliding.
Yeah, Dougie's.
Oh my God, oh my goodness. I'm just, like I say, these comments is unbelievable.
We always have to be sure that when we're calling out the negative, we have to make sure that that truth that we're slinging doesn't get turned into mud and hit someone, innocent. In my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But no, 100% you are correct. There are some people there who are lining their pockets with the 501c3s or on contracts, or just catching something on the back end one way or another.
I mean, but
even just being appointed there, doesn't that come with a paycheck?
I don't know if that pays. I'm not for sure.
I mean, even if it's a small paycheck, because it is a public service in time. Yeah. Hell, even the school board gets paid $30 a meeting.
Like I say, I don't know. I can't lie to you. I don't want.
And it's a good way of moving up a political career. I serve on the Ethics and Accountability Board. You should vote for me for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I mean, as once you say in politics, man, everything is just unbelievable. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm tripping off the comments on it, but I get. That's why I say when you can be, it's kind of hard to try to keep corruption off anything because individuals can be corrupted.
I mean, that's just a human nature flaw. Period. It doesn't matter. Like, you could have the most benevolent dictator of all time.
Yeah.
Just everything good for the people, such as Singapore.
Yeah.
And then corruption hits his successor.
Yeah.
Or Taiwan. Or we can go with the ancient Greeks. Their direct democracy. Want to know why we have 12 jurors? Because they thought it would be too expensive to pay off all 12. Until certain folks got rich and paid off all 12 and got away with literal murder or blasphemy.
Yeah, see.
I mean, Corruption is just a condition of, or part of the human condition.
But see, I mean, yeah, corrupt. It can be if you do right, but it's just.
I'm saying as overall.
Yeah, I
an
mean,
individual, some individuals don't fall for it, and we see that. You know.
See what it is but see what what to me what it is. A lot of these people are friends, and that's what start with the BS. But you can tell who was friends. I keep hearing somebody had on leopard. I keep reading somebody about some leopard pants.
Yeah, there was this older lady. It wasn't just leopard pants. It was cheetah print. There was also jaguar in there. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there was a Dalmatian. I haven't got to that. That was Cruella de Vil.
Yeah, I haven't got to that one yet.
The entire big cat section of the zoo was murdered for her outfit.
But what it seemed like, a lot of these people is ego driven, and I get what you're saying. Winter was, it's talking about they do get caught up in titles, because that's like just for how the council president came there should have been enough for Ethics and Accountability Board. Like, hold up,
this is our meeting. You sit the hell down.
Yeah, like,
but they did do something on the back end of that. They gave her time to speak. Okay, let her tell her lies. But they did the exact same thing for Dennis to come up there, speak his piece, right?
Right.
So, am I disappointed that they let her tell those lies? Yes. Am I happy that they at least 2 people called her on those harshly and quickly? Yes. And am I happy that they heard Dennis out on his side of some of the things? Yes.
Yeah. No, I do agree with that. But I'm just looking at it like, well, my thing is when they say like what they supposed to do, Ethics and Accountability Board should be able to be the checks and balance for council. You got to have checks and balance, man.
They need to rewrite the charter to where Ethics and Accountability Board actually has some teeth.
Because if they can't, they should be able to.
Just a recommendation, then it's absolutely nothing.
They should be able to suspend with the ombudsman. You know what I'm saying? Really, you should be able to have a check and balance, because as long as they can keep playing the way they playing, if they can't see, because you can see the bias on the Ethics and Accountability Board.
Yeah,
let's just call a spade, man. You see that you see the BS on that. And that should be one of the, I get it, each council person get to vote, put their person on the Ethics and Accountability Board. But until we can get these friendships out the way, and I'm going to say it again, to people who will do right for the people in them wards.
Except here's the deal. I don't think it's actual friendships. I've said it before. There are no friends in politics, only interest. Take a look at it, man.
Yeah.
Because everyone's getting something out at the end of it. Period. End of story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There are very few that have actually drank the Kool-Aid. Now, most of them are padding the wallet or padding a career or courting a career in the future. Hey, I'm going to, say this on this board or this council a certain way, and you're going to get me a job with this group.
Yeah,
maybe a cushy 6-figure job.
Because people, they leveraging when they get in these situations, or when they get put in these by certain people, they have to pay that favor back.
Right.
When you do get put in these positions and you don't do it on your own.
Friends,
right?
Because you could be now you could be on the Ethics and Accountability Board and get paid the peanuts if they even do get paid. Someone give me an answer on that. But now they burned that bridge and they aren't getting whatever the hell was promised to them on the back end.
Yeah, because this the thing. Even if you do say you get people out the system, it's so set up for you to cheat. Mm-hmm. It's so set up for you to cheat. And I get what you're saying, Dollar Bill.
Just enlightened the shit out of me today.
Yeah,
Did you know how long the ombudsman can be interim?
No.
Anyone else, I think it's like 6 months and they're permanent.
Right.
Ombudsman, 7 years.
But you got to think when they were setting
interim.
That's why I say that when they were setting this up, the system is set up for you to be crooked.
My system's set up for us to fail.
No, it's set up for you.
This is a rigged game.
Yeah, but it's set up for it to be, for you can get in. It's all about who not a player. If you don't know how to play and you get, but this the thing. People always think anybody can get in and play. If they can control you. If you do what they want you to do, you got to remember you selected.
Not elected.
Right. they select you for you to come play their game. So every blue moon, you get some rogues in there. Your rogues be able to get in, but believe it or not, this thing is set up for the way it's been rolling.
Like, you can tell it, right? There's two power bases here in Flint. Neither one is actually people. I'm not going to call names. I don't need to start that fight right now. I've already got a personal fight going on the back end from last Friday that gets screwed, right? Anyway, neither one's actually for the people. And what they'll do is they will look at the field of candidates and they will put all their enough resources behind one for each position.
Right.
And they'll play them against each other.
Right.
And sometimes they happen to agree on one and that gets in, and then, well,
you got to think.
You got to choose who you want to be with.
Well, the system will let some they'll let some who will really who really want to help the community.
I'm talking about Flint itself.
No, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, but I'm just saying the system because it still ran everywhere. This same game plan is ran everywhere. But far as you having a mayor and the city council or however they have it, if it be districts or whatever, it is set up for you're gonna get one or two or three. You're gonna get a minority who really trying to help the people, but the majority, just look at the Supreme. Look at the Supreme Court. Look at the Senate. Look at the House of Representatives. Just look how it is. It's set up to where you're gonna have the few that do want to help is not gonna be in majority, but the ones who majority gonna go along with the get along is what I'm saying.
What I'm gonna say is, just because they put all their resources behind that person to try to call in a favor later doesn't mean that person is actually going to respond to the favor. They're in that seat now, and they may take the gamble and see if they're going to lose next time by not following her up. But that is a big gamble. You're not betting on a roulette wheel, black or white. You're betting on blackjack. That is a 1 in 400 and some odd chance.
No,
because there are one or two or three that don't have any personal interest. I'm not going to call names because the names I don't call are going to yell at me, right?
You can't, because you win or lose.
Yeah, I can't win for losing.
Right.
So I'm not going to say the names of those who I think are good. But I can tell you, they just try to bet on everything on blackjack to see if they get reelected again. Because they didn't fall for one or the other to give them votes or power or promise or fulfill promise. And now both sides are going to be gunning for that seat again. And the person in it now isn't going to have any support. That's the problem. And then I saw a question since, what was it? A fish rots from the head down. How far are we? Scrap the whole system. Restart.
Yeah, now you will have
absolutely everything. Because even the good parts may be tainted now. You can't trust. If you smell anything coming from a fish, don't eat that fish. Go get a new one.
Yeah, no, that's right.
We got to scrap the entire thing, start from scratch, write it from the ground up, brand new elections from the ground up. And we need to set it up with the input of everyone, not just a few stakeholders, because if you read the Flint City Charter, Flint is set up as a corporation.
Oh, yeah, I've been telling you.
No, it actually says as a corporation that assumes municipal duties. So it was stakeholders that got to decide the first charter, and then everything tumbled from there. You have to wipe it away and start it up from the people, where we all have a say. There is no 7-year interim ombudsman with no power. There is no ethics and accountability board with no bite. There is no rubber stamping city council, or they can change rules midway through, or they can change charter in the middle of a meeting that it wasn't even scheduled for.
Yeah, no, you got to go all the way. You got to go all the way to the county.
You got to burn the old charter, write up a new one.
Yeah, because Flint will have to take back stuff that it got took from it.
Mm-hmm.
See, really, you will have to start it over. But I doubt I don't think who controlling gonna want to let it go like that. because you're gonna be moving certain people that's been rolling like this gonna be moved out the way.
Yeah. And, Eisenhower said something smart. It was beware of the power of the military industrial complex. I'm going to tell you here, beware of the power of people with money who want to be your friend.
Yeah.
If they want to be your friend, they would have been your friend long ago.
Only way you really gonna do, and I see what Jessica Stewart. I do agree with you with that comment. We went to see. You really gonna have to start all new. But the thing is,
We don't get all new.
yeah, but see what the thing is about that. How you know whoever the hands that be, because you can't go get all new counsel. Just let's say you go get all new counsel. If you ain't
That'd
moving,
take 10 years to
if
accomplish
you
at
ain't
this point.
removing the gatekeepers, I'm just saying, being honest, because really it wouldn't. If people really got out to vote, you could change council overnight. Because when them recalls came in, if you really just the whole city, just say this, just say instead of 80, 79 or whatever the city is, just say 40,000 came out to vote.
Mhm.
You know, you can change the council, you can change the mayor. But the thing that you need to do, you have to change the ethic, you have to change things.
Yes,
You have to change so much stuff around in Flint to get stuff that you did, even with the mop board. You have to change so much stuff around. It can be
And
done, but can you get the people
I'm,
where the people wake up?
at
Like,
this point, I want to point something out. It just turned into an election year, right?
yeah,
2024 is an election year. We're just now starting to see some faces come back out from 2022 when I ran.
right.
They're just now starting to come into council. They're just now starting to make their voices heard. That's just one side of the equation here. Once again, they're looking for candidates and they're looking to show that they're looking for candidates. The other side, well, their face has already been there the entire time. That's the Neely side.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see either side, someone with either side, I have to look at them sideways now. I'd rather see someone distance himself from both and take the hard way to get into a seat. And even if they still don't get into a seat, I still got more respect and more trust for them because there's no one behind them pulling no strings. If the entire city came together and said, okay, you don't like this council person, I don't like that council person. If we all sign recall petitions, 1 through 9, we all just came together like that. And mind you, I happen to like some of these folks on a personal level, but there are no friends in politics. And sometimes sacrifices have to be made. You're right, we could change the entire makeup of council overnight. We could have 9 new faces there, but we don't know if those new faces will be attached to one side or the other of the puppet masters.
That's the point.
That's the scary part.
Even if the person do just come out and play like he not part of this, can you be for sure? Because you got to think, man. You know why it's easy to buy a person off, a poor person off, in my opinion.
In your opinion,
in my opinion, is because when the people who got money, they take them with them and let them see, oh, this you can, you know what I'm saying? You want to have this house, you want to go by this neighborhood, you know, you seeing their neighborhood compared to your neighborhood, man. The poor person get caught up and be like, damn, this how I want to live. And that's what the person with money say. Let me give him a little something, just put him up a little above where he at.
Yeah. And it don't cost them much help. Sometimes you'll even see it where they co-sign. You want to know what's scary about that? Because if they co-sign, say, for that car, for that house, or whatever,
Yeah.
if they decide to yank that money away,
but
then it's just as simple as get out.
Yeah, but
you just lost everything. And you are now their puppet for life.
Right, because now you didn't caught into the system. You like that's always gonna be held until you learn how to survive on your own. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, I think what really hurt mainstream media was independent media. Even though, like they say, these phones and these YouTube and Facebook, it's like it is a gift and a curse. It's a gift in this way, people get to see what's really going on because the mainstream media, they could block certain stuff out.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this what they might don't want to report about. They might want to report about a fireman saving a cat out the tree. You know that.
That's our Flint weekly news. That's our nightly
You
news.
see what I'm saying?
But we don't
Good.
hear shit about people
Yeah.
getting shot.
Remember, like, yeah. So when you have things like this the gift that it can for people can see what's going on. The curse is like you were saying.
The other side can do the exact same thing.
No, not that. You seeing people getting jumped on, you know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? They putting
The
that
likes
out
and the
there.
views.
Yeah, you get caught up in the.
You and I and Wintus and several others on A10 have been victims of that. They would go out and use you, you know, they doxed you.
Yeah, just yeah.
Like
I mean,
in a view.
Yeah.
Just to, you know, more views, and it was supposed to intimidate you. I've had people call me out and try to, well, meet me X, Y, and Z, and we'll fight. Or like in a view.
Yeah, I mean,
Wintus's feet became their own stars for like 3 weeks.
So, and that's what I'm saying. So you be needing some independent media to. It's like how I said, you gotta have a yin and a yang.
And then there's the other part of it, right? Like,
yeah.
Liddell's starting up her own podcast. She's going to try to do what we do. We've got numbers, we've got pushing, we've got an influence. Yeah, exactly, my balls. Well, my balls weren't really done for a like and a view. That was family trying to make a point in the weirdest, grossest way possible. My genitalia. No, so Liddell's going to try to do the same. She's going to try to build up a platform. She's going to try to push a narrative. And she's going to try to leverage the power of social media to push her own agenda rather than the agenda of the people. In her case, her own agenda is she's always right. She's always the victim. She has the right to use the power of the city council president however she wishes. And fuck you. And she's going to make excuses every single one of her podcasts as to why she can be the tyrant that she feels she is.
I mean, well, you know, sometime in life, in general, you know, let me just clear it up. I think she should leave that alone. To be honest with you, because what I just seen and what I'm reading in this ethics and accountability, she shouldn't be trying to do nothing on live. Now, just go look at counsel. She make herself look bad on counsel.
Here's the thing. I'm glad she's doing it.
Yeah.
So she can come out with a lie every week, and she can come up with some narrative every week. And every week she has to stand toe-to-toe with not just Wintus, not just you, not just me, but everyone on 810, and then the other independent media platforms. She's by herself in that corner. We've got a team. And I can't wait to knock her back in that corner, watch her bounce, and then someone else knock her back. Verbally and politically, of course. I'm not laying hands on no woman, especially one that could sit on me and break my back.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree with you, Jessica. Like Jessica said, well, Trevor, okay. Well, but the problem is that there are too many receipts to undermine her credibility. Liddell tried Tanya with the censure and got clowned and exposed up one side and down the other. Yeah.
And the more Liddell opens her mouth and lies and lies and lies, the more receipts get dropped, and the more we can show her to be the incompetent, lying, conniving snake that she is.
Oh, you got a point there, Anna.
Every time she goes live is another opportunity for us to show the world who she really is. Every time. Instead of just once or twice a month whenever she goes to council, now it's whenever she turns on that camera. And before long, I want her so afraid of that camera and the damage she's doing to herself that she quits. But I want that damage done first.
Yeah, no, I get it. Now I'm just reading some comments. I understand what you're saying, Tracy. Yeah, I mean they do. That's why I think they so happy with the percentage of people that's voting in Flint, because you can get to pull off what you want to do. You can have But I mean, he do. You know they was gonna have to come though, Trevor, because they gotta stop. And I agree with you say, John Pony. They gotta stop what he really to me is like he's not able to control the narrative. They're not liking a lot of this is getting out.
I mean, so his community updates receive less than 20 viewers live at a time. Whereas me, not a mayor, me, mid-tier performer on the 810 platform, I'm sitting here with 58. More than double his numbers. That's just Neely. Liddell, she's just a second ward councilwoman. She's not all that popular. She's going to have 5 or 10. And then she's going to get slapped, metaphorically. And she'll see those numbers explode. But she's also going to see in her comment section everyone calling her out on every lie, linking every video to every lie she's ever told.
That's why I think it'd be better her to leave it alone. I know Neely wants to put her out
for
there.
her on her own personal side. Better for us that she does this. Go ahead. Test it. We are legion. As Winter says, we are a movement, not a moment.
Yeah, she gonna be blocking better than me.
That's fine. That's fine. Can she block all 2,000 people that have watched, 810 in the past week?
I don't be thinking about none of that, Trevor. I just look at it like just, I know she gonna be coming. She gotta listen. I don't know how you can defend a lie, but she gonna
try.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, because I knew she was gonna blow her stack last night. I knew it, and I wasn't even watching it no more. I knew she was gonna blow it. I said she's gonna blow her stack because I got off before Carol got to question her. That's why I'm like, shit, what did I miss?
No, man. I mean, there's an old saying, and I think everyone's heard it. You got to give someone enough rope to hang themselves. She's providing her own fucking rope. Go for it. Or something that you can't have a talk show or radio show when you were seeking office. Remember, we came off of 910. No, you cannot be monetized. You cannot be monetized. So, no, she can have her own little show. That's fine, Danny.
Yeah.
Go for it. Have fun.
I just don't know how she
just can't monetize herself. And, well, Paul, which is who I'm assuming is going to do it for her, he can try to dance around it if the recall goes through, but we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah.
But it has been an hour, and you and I were only planning on 30 minutes.
Hey, it was flowing.
It was flowing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. I guess we had a solution, which is get your children in the habit of disciplining themselves and getting themselves on task, and then sending them to the schools, not to be a problem for the teachers, but to be a blessing. And then if you want a solution to Flint ethics and accountability in city council, it's going to need to be a push to rewrite the charter from the ground up, and not from the position of a corporation, but from the position of a governmental body on the ideals, not the actual practices, but the ideals that America was founded on, of the people, for the people, by the people, and no one else. I think that's good. You got any parting words?
No, you said it.
All right.
See y'all tomorrow morning. Oh, I see here. I might school board getting. See y'all 6:30 at the school board.
Mm-hmm.